fundamentally, imagine you are playing a video game, but you're not playing a video game. You're actually there, yeah, with 5 of your mates, and you've each got a laser tag rifle, and you're being drilled by a drill sergeant and about to be sent off into a warehouse, and it is filled with flesh-eating zombies, and essentially you've got to run around with your laser tag rifle shooting them all in the head, and all the zombies are actors. And for some reason, whenever I try and explain this, people just don't quite grasp it first off. So I find the best way to explain it is, imagine laser tag is like you're playing like online Call of Duty. Imagine Patient Zero, which is what the project was called, is like playing single player or co-op. You were playing one of the NPCs for quite a while. You know, you sort of tried the different... Yeah. And one thing that always amused me is that when you were playing Basilisk was his name, who's like a soldier, a surviving soldier you come across in the field. When I was in comms right at the end, people were like, Caesar's on Basilisk tonight. I was like, is that good or bad? They were like, oh no, it's really cool because he does most of the work, but if you end up on Area 3, you'll just see him disappear. Like, you'll see the team rock up and he'll be gone. Doing that sort of stuff, in that sort of improvisational workspace, when you don't know, like the team that come through are not actors, they're the public, that's the audience. That's got to take a lot of balls to just be like, screw you, I'm going to run off and I'm going to play with you and I'm going to gunfight with you and we're just going to, like, we're going to improvise this whole thing. Do you think of yourself as like a brave performer when it comes to stuff? Do you just try stuff instinctively?
Try stuff instinctively. In terms of brave, not really. I was never that brave. Okay. Because they're in my house, you know? So I knew all the spots. I knew I was safe every single time. So the only risk I was really taking is how much of the story they're going to get, you know what I mean? So I was playing with the content and that risk. In terms of me being brave, it was like, I was just having fun, man.
Yeah.
So running around, it was like, it comes back to just sitting there and being like, okay, this is the script. Cool. You can play with it. Cool. And doing the same thing over and over and over again and be like, this is boring for me.
Yeah.
You know? And so they're paying good money for this. They're coming to play a game. And if they come to the main point where the actual story starts to develop and the guy doing it is bored, then it kills the whole experience.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it became the point of like, how can I keep this interesting for me so that the game is alive, so that by the time they get to me, it just goes a whole nother level and becomes this whole nother point. And so that's why I started playing. So like, and it also makes the story interesting for the players because they don't know what the fuck's happening.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I shoot something, they go down. Yeah. I shoot something, they go down. All right, there's something here, I'll shoot it, blah, blah, blah. But then they come to the main character, the first character that they speak to, which would be my character, Basilisk.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, they shoot him, like, wait a minute, he's not going down. Wait, is he speaking? And like, should we shoot him or do we listen to him? What the fuck? And so playing with that and just going from there was amazing. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was fun to play with that. And also the best thing about that show job was that
nobody knows what to call it.
No. The best thing about that was each team, as you put, was the audience.
Yeah.
Which means each team was a different reaction, was a new aspect, was a new people. So that means every time I did something, I had something fresh to put on a group of fresh audience members. So that means I could try new things and see what worked and what didn't work, and I could explore shit. So like if I said something in a certain way, they would shoot me. But if I said the same thing, but I had my body hunched as if I was hurt, they would listen. You know what I mean? And so I could actually play with shit. And as an actor, as a performer, that was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Because we do rehearsals, we do fucking developments, blah, 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 blah. But the show never truly comes alive until you have a fucking audience there.
Yeah.
Because they determine everything. And the whole point, some people would say, is that the director, up until that point, is supposed to be the audience.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be watching with that eye, so that way you can feed off it and sort of get a sense of it. Unfortunately, directors aren't always like that.
Yeah.
But because of this, I was able to play. I was able to hone my craft. I was able to do shit and get paid for it.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And the audiences, they enjoyed it. Like some of the shit I did with them, they were like, what the fuck? Other times like, is this come for real? Bang.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And so as as a person, that was amazing for me.
Yeah.
And so it was just so much fucking fun. I enjoyed every moment of it. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was a crazy project.
Yeah.
Did you, who was it who was saying that Sarah was like a foreign spy? And so, like, the Basilisk was saying Sarah was a foreign spy. So as soon as they would go up there, she'd just say one word, and the team would be like, "Okay, you're dead."
That was never my one, to be honest. But I think there was a number of Basilisks, because the Basilisks were played by different people. So they all had their own things. Some of them kept to the script, stayed in their rooms. Others played like I did. Yeah. So it all depends. It all came down.
Did you sort of take ideas off each other or compete or?
Yeah. So like Frank, he did the first time he did the gun shootout.
Yeah.
Then we took that and we played with it. He also liked to do the whole Commando Rambo, have the gun in his back pocket and and do like, I got my gun down, I'm cool, then pull out the whole Glock 42, get shot as he did the fuck off fights. So yeah, we all played with each other, stole shit, added stuff. I was the first one. Okay, so as Basilisk, I was the only one to complete the game.
Yeah.
So I completed a number of times. And all had different endings for me and for the players. So the players had the option with Basilisk to kill him, get information, leave him, or take him.
Yeah.
And so a couple of times I went with the players all the way through. We killed the last big boss, Patient Zero, and then got out into the ending. And then got debriefed, and I made it to the debriefing room a number of times. I was the only one to do it. And in the debriefing room was a whole nother ball game. So sometimes I got to the debriefing room and shot down by the team. It was like, he's a traitor, shoot this guy. Other times I met the captain out there, the gas man. He was like, "Hey Bass, how you going?" We were all cool and shit. Everything was sweet.
Yeah.
Another time I got out to the debriefing room and I was like, "Oh shit, Patient Zero's still alive. Go out and take him." So I had to go back out inside because I was a Top Gun.
Right. Okay.
And so it was.
Was that putting extra work on yourself? Because if you're not doing it with the last team, I suppose you didn't go to the end with any of the teams that weren't the last team.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you have to just like sprint back like a crazy mother?
Well, no, because you playing as from the performer sense. Doing the teams, you get a sense of how long they play, and where they're coming through.
Yeah.
And we were always in contact with comms, who was taking care of all the teams, so we always knew where they were. And I never left contact with comms, so even though I was playing for team, I was still in constant contact with comms, so I knew what was happening.
Yeah.
And so that also affected my judgments in terms of how far I went with the team, if I went all the way out or if I died earlier. But I was never in a rush because you could always sense, if I take this team this far, I'll still have enough time to get back.
Right,
there,
okay, you're judging it the whole time.
Yeah, so in that aspect, I was playing while not playing. So I was like, both me, the Basilisk, the character, and also Caesar, the acting, like, what actually do I have to do right now today?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it never got risky, never got close.
Was it you or Frank or somebody else who first thought to hack the players' comms by just swapping the radio channel? I would just never have thought of that in a million years, but it is so fucking genius. It made me laugh.
That was Frank with his first gun battle. He actually he hacked the comms and he set it all up. But it's amazing because it of course it has this whole other element, because like now they're actually hearing this, because it gave us to play with both the audience, the players, but also they're being led through the game by a guy called the comms officer.
Yeah.
And so actually now it then having a triplet dialogue. The audience would then be listening both to the comms officer and the character of Basilisk, but then also Basilisk and the comms officer would be having a fight and a conversation while the players are listening.
Yeah.
And so it just had this whole added this whole other depth and element to it, which was amazing to the story development.
Who was it who was telling me that he left his shoes or something in the or like his vest in the room, and then went and hid in like a dark corner with his pistol, so that when the team all came in, they're looking at the room and they see it all and they're like, "What the hell is this?" And he just comes up behind them. He's like, "Drop it," with his pistol.
Yeah, there were some bad motherfuckers playing Basilisk.
Yeah. As much fun as playing Baker, who was the guy who sort of sent them through.
Well, Baker is fun in its own sense, but the problem with Baker is that he had to set the rules of gameplay.
Right.
And so he was the only character, so to speak, who had to be quite definite in what he was doing.
Definitely.
In terms of...
you couldn't just open the door and run in with them and...
Well, actually, in the last couple of days, the Bakers did go through as well.
Oh, that's right. With the arms guy as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, in terms of that because he sets the rule of gameplay in like in terms of the players aren't allowed to touch the zombies, they're not allowed to get close and stuff.
Yeah.
So if they see the authority figure doing shit off cue, then that gives them the sense that they can as well.
Yeah.
And so he could play, but he had to make sure that the rules were clean and crisp and understandable.
Yeah.
And so being Baker gave that challenge, and being able to play with that, being like, but how far can I push this without making everyone else that I'm working with in danger and making the players confused.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting Baker one, but it's a fun one.
Yeah, for sure. Is it a different, I mean, it was for me, but not that I ever did an NPC. I was just a zombie running around most of the time. But was it a different sort of experience as an actor, needing to sort of technically hold all those things in your head at the same time as your performance?
Yes, definitely it is. It's because it's like, yes, I'm performing. Yes, these guys came to play, but I have to tell them the rules.
Yeah.
And I have to be telling them the rules in a way that they understand. If they don't follow the rules, they're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Because they paid this money, but also they're dealing with real people, and that means they've got real people that we're in control of, like the other actors or the zombies, and we have to be safe. And so it was definitely that duality of, I have to play, give them a good show, but also be like, this is a game, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There are rules to this that have to be followed, like laws, because if they're not, that means something could get hurt. Either our people, the zombies, or just yourself, because you're being a dick fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
I was always reminded of the story. There was a haunted house in LA or something during Halloween, and a guy smashed a bottle into Dracula's face when he jumped out to scare him, which sounds funny, but that guy would have been like...
Fortunately, there were no malicious attacks or anything like that. The game was set up, it was quite nice. And the people playing, they weren't fuckwits. They were there to have fun just as much as we were, so it was good. But it having that set up the fact that, like, this is real. It's not just some fucking video game where I can just respawn and jump off a cliff. Yeah. If I hurt myself here,
you really are hurting yourself.
Yeah. And so that's the other aspect that really comes into play, because it's like that reality of it.
Yeah, and wanting to, like, if you've ever played zombie video games like Dead Rising, I think it is, where you improvise all the weapons. It's just convincing players you do not want to get into hand-to-hand combat with these guys, because you're sort of saying they will fuck you up, but in reality you will fuck them up, and the actors will have to go to hospital, and it will be bad. Or you might fuck with the wrong zombie, and then we just have a lawsuit. There were a couple of guys in there who could definitely handle themselves.
And that's all that shit that just ruins the experience. We're not interested in any of that. We just want to have fucking fun, just as much as you guys. So Did
you ever get eaten as one of the NPCs?
Yes, a number of times. I got eaten. I got attacked. We set that up. It was fucking fun. No, I lied. As the big boss Patient Zero, I ate a number of the NPCs.
Right,
And I did eat as just normal zombies. I ate a number of the NPCs as well. So.
Yeah.